What is your name and where are you from?
My name Doctor Maryam Abu Dakka from Palestine, City Gaza, from organization Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine.
Can you tell us something about the Palestinian people and especially women in Gaza?
The situation of women in Gaza is exactly like the situation of women in Jerusalem and in the occupied territories. They live under occupation. It's an expansionist, Zionist, imperialist occupation that oppress people.
Do you have to struggle with patriarchal violence within the Palestinian Liberation Front?
So the situation of the Palestinian woman is an exception around the world because the main oppression that the Palestinian woman is being subjected to is the occupation's oppression. So the struggle or the oppression of the Palestinian woman is a compound oppression. First of all, it's the national oppression because of the struggle against the occupation, but the Palestinian woman struggles alongside with men in that sense. And then there is the sexual oppression, but also the class oppression. The struggle for now is that Palestinian women are struggling together with the men against this oppression that oppresses us financially, economically, and all aspects. But at the same time, then the Palestinian women also struggle and fight for their rights, for civil rights, because in order to be free, they should have full rights in their society also. So we empower women mainly by educating them about their rights and to make them able also to be emancipated and get their rights in the society. We raise the slogan of strong woman, then a strong country. Our party, the political party, is a party that believes in equality between men and women. So in my party, I'm on the top of the hierarchy, and I'm a woman. Also, you know Layla Khalid, but also the Khalida Jarrar. They're all women in the party. So our progressive left party have also female martyrs, but also prisoners, also myself. So in our party there is no difference, and it depends on what each person's abilities are. So I myself was in the military sector. I'm also in the political aspect in the party. I have a very important political position, and we were entrepreneurs in the sense that I have stepped down from my political position to leave it out for the younger women generation to take the lead. Stepping down from the political position doesn't mean that my role ends here. Actually, I become now a national leader for the whole Palestinian people and to monitor the way to liberation. Today, I attend this conference not as in a political position, but as a national feminist Palestinian leader. I can proudly say that I have a lot of comrades from all over the world, women comrades who are supportive of us for our struggle. And, despite all the cultural differences and language differences, we all still have the human language, and which unites us towards the liberation and to fight against oppression in all over the world. Our mentality in the party is to fight for all human causes, like our leaders, for example, like Che Guevara. You might also know that we have lots of poets like Ghassan Kanafani, who has been assassinated also by the occupation. We have also Abu Ali Mustafa, which was assassinated by 2 rockets, and which means this is life under occupation.
هذا هو الاحتلال. ليلى خالد.
So we can name now a few names of women, Palestinian women who became like international symbol for fight against imperialism, like Layla Khaled, for example. And we have now 32 Palestinian women in prison, but generally we had also 17,000 women who has been in jail. Lots of women, they had to give birth in prison, but under brutal circumstances, without any humanitarian help or medical help. She proudly smiles and says that she came back after 30 years. And but there are still women who were exiled and died in exile. They couldn't return. There is another Palestinian prisoner nowadays. She's called Isra Jamis, and she was burned before she got arrested in the accident, and they deny her medical help. In the field, we're also working on raising legal awareness among women with a partnership with Palestinian women organizations, and so that women become more aware of their rights, to get them out of the oppression which sometimes happens in the families because of old traditions, and so that those women become also part of the fight rather than being victims themselves. So there is a misconception about the patriarch society within the Palestinian society, and that people think it's only the men who has this discrimination ideas, which is not true. Also women have that. This is just a normal thought that men generally are better than women, and so we're fighting against that, to change that, because like for example, if you have a woman who is a rich woman, then she's the daughter of her class. She doesn't represent the oppressed poor women in the society. So we are for social justice, and we are in the fight with all women around the world, so that they would be able finally to live in justice, without oppression, and with equal rights. And that's why we're for partnerships, no matter where they come from, with the one condition that they have the same concepts or ideas about equality. So we're not against men, we're against people who have the wrong thoughts about women.
How did violence against Palestinian women express itself during the Nakba?
This is something maybe very hard for you to understand, because what the occupation that at that time, it was fascist. In the Deir Yassin massacre, they cut open the pregnant women's bellies and killed the children and the infants, so they would scare the people in the next villages to force them also to run away. They wiped some villages completely, like down to the ground, and they call it now Hebrew names. Until today, the occupation, they do ethnical cleansing, but in like creative and different ways. Unfortunately, it's because the United States and Britain, they are the ones actually hosting terrorism and cover for those crimes. So they sometimes express their worry about the crimes of the occupation, but they don't really do anything against it. And I just don't understand, how is it possible someone is occupying me with the American weapons, and they're killing me, and then they say they have the right to defend themselves. So our responsibilities is actually to tell the story from our side, because they cover the story from their side. Because it's a responsibility, because what they are doing, it's against all human laws and human sense in the world. So by telling our story is fighting against that. Unfortunately, the international law becomes active and functions when it's about Ukraine, because they have blue eyes and white skin, and it becomes dysfunctional when it's about us. And so with the Ukraine, you see they get immediately all the support and the weapons. And that's why we say we're gonna tilt off the table on its heads against the Israeli and the Americans, because this is our rights, this is our right, and this is our land, and we're not leaving. The biggest terrorist in the world is America and Israel.